I'm now at Milford Sound, which is a huge fjord on the west coast, southwest coast, in the middle of Fjordland. It's very cold, quite windy, so I might get hypothermia or something, but it is incredibly pretty. So I'm on the boat, and it is pretty cool. Everything is massive. I feel like I'm in Land of the Giants. Mountains everywhere. But it is huge, I feel so tiny. Crazy. Apparently when Captain Cook sailed around here, he missed it twice. He never found it. You can't tell from the video, but by going from sunlight into shadow, the temperature drops by about 15 degrees. That's why I've got my hat on now. So today is mostly a journey day. I'm heading up the west coast. I'm here in Queenstown, heading up to Fox Glacier. Google Maps says the journey takes about 4 hours by car, but the coach company on the website said it takes about 7. So I've got about 7 hours trapped on a coach, which is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, but never mind. Since I'm going to be on the coach for 7 hours, I've decided to be a bit G and I'm occupying the back seats. So I'm going to sit here blaring out some sick tunes and wearing a baseball cap backwards and all that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Last Sunday and road closed. We'll be working here today.
I am now at Fox Glacier, which is a small town just next door to a glacier called Fox Glacier. It's not a big town at all. It's similar to Tekapo. There's a couple of hotels, a hostel, a restaurant or two, and that's about it. They cater mainly for people who have come here to see the glacier, which is what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to go for a hike. It's crazy how different the weather is on this side. We haven't really travelled that far. Set off from Queenstown this morning. It was freezing, it was snowing. Then went over the Harst Pass in the Alps and ended up next to the Tasman Sea. Tasman Sea is about maybe 2 miles that way, and the mountains are no more than 5 miles that way. In fact, you can see them. Crazy thing, right behind me there, you can kind of see a few miles away in the distance is Mount Cook, where I was a few days ago. I was walking around on the other side in the snow and it was freezing. It's getting quite late in the day now. It's about 4:30, 5ish, so the sun will be setting soon, so I have to get a bit of a skate on. But yeah, I'm walking to Lake Matheson, which is renowned as being a beautiful mirror lake. I'm walking around the shores of Lake Matheson. I'm a bit out of breath. From a vantage point just around the corner, you can see the reflection of Mount Cook in the lake. And I think as the sun sets, the light will look quite good. But I don't have much time. Looks like I'm not the only person who's got this idea.
Again. I love God. Yeah, this morning we saw some trucks too, but they weren't really happy. No?
I'm walking back It's getting dark now. The very last light. I made it out of the forest just in time, otherwise I may have gotten lost. Thing is, it's about a 3-4 mile walk back into the town from here, and there are no street lights on the road, and in about 10 minutes time it's going to be pitch black. I'm sure there'll be cars going past, so I could film a lift, but I've seen Deliverance, so that might not end well. I've got a torch and everything, so it'll be fine. One of the perks of walking home in the dark, or the near dark anyway, on the coast as well, is that you get to see a very nice sunset, especially when it's this clear. You can kind of see the moon up there as well. It's pretty cool. You can just about make out Venus on the horizon, and looking up next to the moon, I think that is Jupiter. Since my main reason for being in New Zealand is science, working at the observatory, observing stars, I thought that whilst I'm in New Zealand it'd be a good opportunity for me to do a bit more science. So this morning I'm heading out to do a little field test. Wish me luck. Right there. I'm spending the rest of the day doing something a little closer to terra firma. I flew over the glacier this morning, very briefly, so now I'm going to walk down there and see what there is to see. I'm walking up the valley floor towards the glacier, which you can just about make out behind me. It's pretty cool, it's very stark, obviously. Just a field of boulders dropped off as the glaciers receded, little streams. It's amazing you can just walk up to it. They've put little poles in the ground to kind of guide your way, but apart from that, I don't want to be here when it rains, because it looks like this place could fill up with water quite quickly. These quite alarming little signs dotted along the side of the track. Little yellow ones with a person cowering underneath, falling rocks, and some red ones say rock fall, unstable ground, danger of death, no stopping. Fair enough. So this is about as close as they'll let you get to the glacier. Apparently it gets a bit more dangerous after this, although it doesn't seem too bad. They've cordoned off the rest of the footpath. Quite impressive. This entire valley is carved out by that thing. You can see the straight edges down the sides of the cliff carved out over millions of years, and all the rocks down here have all got like striations on them, and apparently over the last few years it's retreated quite substantially. I was here on the other side of the valley 10 years ago, and I remember it being much further forward, and there's a little sign down at the bottom that says how far it's gone back, marks out where it was in 2008, and it's, my finger says nothing here, but it's about half a mile it has gone back since 2008, which is an awful long way. It's a lot of ice to melt in 8 years. The drivers who've been driving the coaches over the last few days have said similar things as well. They've said since the 90s the winters have got milder, got warmer, and they haven't had to use chains on the wheels at all. They said it was a routine thing in the 90s to have to drive over the passes with chains on the wheels, but it was always so snowy and icy. They said it's not the same anymore. I said they don't have to do that at all. They haven't done it in about 10 years. I've decided to leave the footpath for a bit and try and get a bit closer. It's pretty cool. There is no footpath here, so I'm just kind of meandering my way across boulders and things like that. I can see the odd footprint in the ground though, so I guess some other people have walked down here fairly recently, so I guess it's particularly dangerous. This is pretty much as far as I can get now. It's getting to the point where I can't tell what's rock and what's ice. So it'd be a bit of a foolish thing for me to do, to keep walking along really. I'll probably end up dying. It's cool. You can see the blue tint in the ice. Little waterfall going down the side, and the water rushing out from underneath. It is amazing. Just thinking back to my GCSE geography, trying to remember all the different terms for things. Scree, recessional moraine, lateral moraine. There's a few erratics dotted around here as well. I'm still traipsing around. I'm not very far from the foot of the glacier really, maybe a mile or so, and I'm already in the rainforest, temperate rainforest, apparently, that's where it is. Obviously not tropical, it's freezing. It's pretty neat. And also quite imposing as well. If I was to wander off the path here, I would be screwed. I would have no idea where I am. So I'm just kind of walking along, minding my own business, back into town. And I'm on one of the side roads that leads back from the glacier. And there's a little sign on the side of the road saying warm spring. I almost missed it. And so it is, there's actually a geothermal pool right here next to the road. It's crazy, there's steam coming off of it. It is really nice and warm. If I was several feet shorter, I'd have a bath in here, but I'm not. It's only quite shallow. You can kind of see the steam coming off of it. Right, I'm back at Lake Matheson, which is where I was yesterday, taking pictures at sunset. but now it's after dark, and I've come up with a couple of lovely people that I've met in the hostel, Amy and Green. Hello.
Hey!
You can't see us, and you can't see anything of the lake because it's pitch black, but it's quite cool. We try to get some pictures of the stars and the galaxy and the reflection and stuff in the lake, but it's pretty freaky. We've walked about a mile or so into the forest, and there is nothing here. You can just hear like animals howling in the background and owls and stuff. So it's quite freaky. So it's Monday morning, and I'm sat on a bus from Braybridge the rest of the day. It's 8:30, and I arrive in Nelson at about 7:30 tonight. So I think there's plenty of stops and stuff like that, but it's a bit of a long journey, isn't it? A little bit further up the coast, at a place called Punakeki, I think. This whole area of coast is quite famous. It's renowned as being one of the best coastal roads in the world, apparently. I didn't know that this morning. I was whiling away the time on the bus reading about the area. It's quite tropical, actually. It's like little palm trees dotted around everywhere. It's quite cool. One of the main reasons for stopping here is so we can get a look at a distinctive rock formation just off the coast called Pancake Rocks. Apparently it's formed from limestone of different layers, and each intermediate layer is slightly softer than the one above and below it. So whenever the sea comes in, it erodes the softer gaps in between, leaving kind of distinct flat pancake-like layers. It'd be quite nice to sit down here and have a cocktail. This is the main road up the west coast of the South Island. The only road that runs up the west coast. So this is basically their equivalent of the M1. I'm just stood right in the middle of it. There's nothing coming. I haven't seen a car in quite a while. After pretty much a full day on a coach, 11 hours, I am now in Nelson at the top of the South Island. It's dark. It's cold. And today has been pretty much a write-off, apart from seeing those pancake stones and a few other little things. I've been sat on my ass for 11 hours. Although I have read quite a lot of my books, so that's fine. And now I'm at the YHA. I'm now in a little town called Kaiteriteri, about an hour's drive around the coast from Nelson, on the very edge of Abel Tasman National Park. It's still quite early, about 8 AM. You can see from the long shadows on the beach. I'm going to be spending the day hiking, but Abel Tasman National Park isn't the most accessible place by road. There's a lot of areas where you can't get to, so I'm hopping on a little boat, which you can just about see behind me in silhouette there, which will take me about an hour's boat ride around the coast into the very middle of the national park, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the day walking about 10 miles back to this point, where I'll get picked up this evening and taken back to Nelson. Oh, that's the hope anyway. I'm in a tiny little bay called Te Pukatea Bay. do with having a lucky man walking up and down the beach selling cornettos or Fanta Lemon. That'd be good, wouldn't it? You can tell in the summer this is a very, very popular place to visit for hikers. Dotted along the coast of the national park, about every 5 miles or so are huts. You can't really see it behind the trees there, maybe you can, I don't know. They're quite big, they're like little hostels. I don't know how many people sleep, maybe 30 people, and there's campsites around them as well. So the idea is you start at one end of the walk and go all the way to the other. It's not that long, it's only about 35 miles I think. Maybe more, I'm not sure, but so I'm now back at Tekapo at the observatory, working hard. I've been back for a few days. I'm spending most of my time in this little room, working from sunset to sunrise, so about 6 PM through till 7 AM. It's now 10 to 5 in the morning, so I'm a bit knackered. And this is pretty much it for my travel blogs for the time being. I've got another few days here before I head off up to the North Island and kind of just whiz around the same as I did in the South Island and see some stuff. So before then, the next couple of blogs will be more about the science stuff that I'm doing here and the telescope and the work that I'm doing and the stuff that other people's doing as well, because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. So thanks for watching these so far, and thanks for sitting through them. It must be quite a slog. They're getting longer and longer. I think this one's about 30 minutes. So I apologise, I'll try and make them a bit shorter. But yeah, that's about it. Cheers.